Hey guys, we're here at the Anaheim Convention Center for our visual guide to Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. Obviously a big deal on the con calendar. If you follow along with us, we cover just about 50 conventions a year and a ton of theme park stuff. If you're new to us, because Star Wars Celebration definitely attracts much more of an international audience, this is one of the things we always try to do is we try and get out on location to the bigger cons, whether it's San Diego Comic-Con or a WonderCon or whatever it might be that really captures people's attention, and go over some of the details. So there's a lot of nuances to Star Wars Celebration. Even if you're a longtime con attendee, there's some specific things we want to share with you in terms of local area, some of the dynamics being in Anaheim, some of the very specific things as it relates to downtown Disney and Disneyland itself. So we're going to kind of make our way around and share some of these things with you. So first off, we're here in front of the convention center. We're going to share some things related to parking and a variety of things that goes on with cosplay and things like that. But before we get to all that, just the layout a little bit. If we look on way down this way, we've got Hall D. So if you are somebody that's going to be registering on site, that's going to be your spot there. And the convention center, Star Wars Celebration is a huge show relative to the Anaheim Convention Center. It's going to be going all the way from D all the way down here to A. In Hall A, you've got things like the tattoo art show, the show exclusive store, which is going to be a must for a lot of people. D23 Expo attendees will be familiar with this concept. If you're not one of those or you haven't been to Celebration, you might not know the madness that is the store. And so you can check out online already some of the products that are going to be there, but it's going to bring massive lines. Which kind of brings us to just off the top here, as we're kind of focusing a little bit more on an internationally minded visual guide here, meaning that a lot of the people that follow along with us are very used to our Southern California coverage, but we know people will be coming from all over the place for this. And so with Celebration, if you're not accustomed to cons of this size, it's really important to start making some choices. Get the app, go onto the website, follow the fan pages, make sure you're very familiar with the offerings here, because there's going to be a lot to choose from. What are your musts? Because there's going to be some serious choices that have to be made between panels that are going to take a lot of time and exclusives and everything else, from getting tattoos to bounty hunts in the hotel. Star Wars Celebration is really going to take over this entire area for those 4 or 5 days there, and so having some of those priorities in mind will be important. I know for us, some things that are kind of must on our calendar: the collector swap meet Saturday at 7 p.m. is a huge must. If you're a collector of any sort or just interested in finding things that may be lost to time or maybe you didn't even know to exist, definitely go there. The good people at Star Wars Action News are kind of the host of that whole collector area. They put that together. You can bring your own stuff. You don't even need a table. So if you have some Star Wars stuff at home, bring it out. You can sell it there, trade it. Really cool, really fun environment. In addition to that, Frank Diorio does his work. If you go and Google like the Hoth diorama or the Ewok Endor diorama, does these amazing diorama pieces where you as an attendee get to put together a part of the display. This year, Bespin, a personal favorite of mine, so we're definitely getting in there. He's also got some really new things going on this year with a connection with Hasbro, swag giveaways, even a fast pass, so definitely check that out. But now's a really good time, whether you're watching this a day before Celebration or a week before Celebration, to really be hashing out your plan and deciding on those must-haves. As you look at the exclusives as they make their way out there, is the Droids jumbo vintage figure from Gentle Giant the priority, or maybe the Hallmark ornament, Funko? And again, we'll talk more about panels, but all of that has to be in consideration. Setting priorities at a certain level where you're not going to be disappointed, I think, is critical. And again, some of you watching are longtime con attendees, especially if you've been to several celebrations, you know these things already. But we find a lot of times, sometimes we'll bring friends to Celebration, we'll bring friends to cons, we'll bring friends to these types of things, and it's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page there. As you make your way through the floor, which is really going to take up all of this area from B and C and all that, it's going to be a huge floor. There's going to be a lot of diorama pieces. There's going to be a lot of sets to take pictures with, tons of cosplay. But make sure as you're hitting the floor, even included those exclusives, make your list. If you see something you really need, need in quotes, something you really want, make sure to buy it right away, because it's going to go fast and it's going to be gone. And this is the type of show when you see those one or two of a kind things, they're going to be gone if you wait. That being said, if you see the things that just are kind of lukewarm, put them on a list. Make sure to make note where they are. Maybe there'll be a Sunday sale. Maybe it'll still be sitting around. Really tough to do sometimes with exclusives, but things can sit around even in that area. Now, not that the exclusives will go on sale, but they may still be there. And so it really is about opportunity cost and what time do you need. All right, we're going to turn around and talk a little bit about parking and just how the fountain works and some of that. All right, so we're here at the fountain right in front of Hall B. This has really become kind of the center of the convention world when it comes to WonderCon, and we think it's going to have a similar situation as we look at Star Wars Celebration. Really great spot with backdrops for cosplayers, so we're guessing we're going to see a lot of them out here. Photographers come out, they set them up. We've got foliage in the background, but the water effects here in the fountain itself are really awesome. So definitely keep an eye out here, especially if you notice any point where you just really want to get some great cosplay pictures and you may not find them out on the floor. Definitely can find them here. Really cool backdrops. Also, 3 p.m. on Friday, fans of Ahsoka, of Clone Wars, and now Star Wars Rebels fame, Ahsoka Lives meetup is going to be right here with Amy Geek of fame from Nerdist and StarWars.com. Amy Ratcliffe, she's going to have a group here. They're going to get their Ahsoka Lives shirts or any of their Ahsoka attire out and be able to meet up here and kind of celebrate the return of a beloved character. So definitely a fun thing to check out too. That's going to take place outside of Celebration. Another thing we want to talk about as we look here is down here in this main kind of walkway area. For WonderCon and a lot of conventions over the years, they've added a lot of food trucks there. It's been a nice area to kind of go eat. We're not positive as of recording that that's going to occur for Star Wars Celebration, but it is worth noting. We'll talk a little bit more about food options also when we talk about the hotels. Also, way down that way, we've got the Toy Story parking lot. Behind us, we have Convention Center parking. There's Convention Center parking all over. Some things to note with parking here, especially if you're somebody that's going to be driving in every day that may not have looked at the website yet. The parking's going to be a little bit unique. So first off, avoid all hotel parking. They always close that down. So that's going to be for hotel guests only. So take that out of the equation. But for convention attendees, they've got 3 rates. There's a standard rate of $15 a day, a premium rate of $20, and a VIP rate of $25. So assuming each of those is a little bit closer than the other one. So not something we're used to on the convention scene ourselves of kind of that tiered pricing for parking, but something to note with it. Also, if Star Wars Celebration holds up, like with what we've seen with WonderCon, is this area just gets jam-packed. As awesome as it is to have conventions here next to Disneyland, as many hotels, restaurants, all as there are, all the Disney crowds still come and crowd the place regardless of how big of a convention there is. So it just makes things all that much more crowded, especially when it comes to parking. So if you're not staying at a local hotel, plan to get here early, plan to find parking early. You might want to even Uber in. We had several followers during WonderCon that just said they were going to Uber in, and that was a much easier way just to get to the front of the convention center. Another option though, down the way here, we've got the Toy Story lot. Past where we said the food trucks were, that's a Disneyland lot. If you park over there, sometimes they'll ask you, are you here for the convention or are you here for the for Disneyland? We just always say Disneyland and keep it simple. During WonderCon, even though it was kind of an official parking lot that was listed on the CCI guide to parking, we had several people on Twitter, Facebook that hit us up and said that when they went there and they told them that they were here for the convention, that they were told they had to go park somewhere else. So to avoid confusion, even though it's going to be fine with Disney execs, I'm sure if you park there, the cast member at the gate taking your money, it may not be okay with them. So just simplify things. Yeah, I'm here for Disney, and go ahead and park there. That's $17 a day. So a couple dollars more than the lowest tier of parking at the convention center, but it's a really good alternative. You just walk across the street and make it here. Plus, if you're going to go to Disneyland, you can just hit the shuttle up over there, which we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So one thing we think there's going to be a lot of questions about for Star Wars Celebration, because it is a little bit different and it is the focus for a lot of people, is autographing. And so we've already been getting questions as early as a few weeks out of how autographing works, and just, you know, the differences from what it is at, you know, Celebration versus San Diego Comic-Con or anywhere else. So we're outside of Hall C here, which is where the autograph hall is going to be. Official Picks is the official sponsor of the autograph hall. They always take care of it. They'll have their photos on hand. It's a very professional group, but big advice here is to buy in advance those autograph tickets that you want. So most cons, you just kind of show up the day of, you give them your cash at the table. Little bit different here. I'm actually going to read some things directly from the Official Picks website, which you can go to the Star Wars Celebration website and just click over there to look more about the autograph. I'm going to read some things directly here off the website just because we've gotten so many questions and I think they're worth mentioning. So tickets, you get your tickets ahead of time. They're good for an autograph of an item you bring with you, a complimentary 8x10 photograph from the guest table. So either or, you can bring something your own, you can get the 8x10 there, it's included in the price, but you do need a ticket. It's not cash at the booth. The autograph hall will be set up with Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Ian McDiarmid, Anthony Daniels, and Kenny Baker, and all of them have a special rate of coupon. So if you go onto the website right now, you can just click and see, you know, it's $120, $80, whatever the price is, buy that ticket. Everyone else their prices are in $10 increments. So you just buy, let's say you want Jeremy Bullock and he's $40. You're going to buy 4 $10 tickets. And so you're not going to necessarily click on just one person there. You're going to buy the $10, almost like getting gift certificates, and then you're going to bring those and use those. But you have to have those $10 increment tickets in order to get your autographs. They'll be on sale here as well, but if you have them ahead of time, makes it a lot easier. We do not mail out tickets. So if you buy them in advance, don't expect to get them at home. We do not mail out tickets. All orders will receive a barcode email, and your tickets can be picked up at the show in the autograph area with that barcode printout. So make sure to bring that. If you make multiple orders, please bring your barcode email receipt for each order. To avoid long lines, and this is critical, I think, customers can pick up their tickets in advance on Wednesday, April 15th from 2 to 5 p.m. at the event registration inside the main lobby. In addition to the official Pix autograph ticket counter at any time during the show hours. So, we always suggest, if at all possible, and I think for Celebration, a lot of people are going to be flying in from out of town, so this is doable. I think for many, you're going to check into your Hilton or Marriott or whatever you're saying. Get down here on Wednesday, get all your registration stuff taken care of if you didn't get your tickets in advance, and definitely get over to the autograph hall and pick up your tickets so you don't have to wait for that. Now, one critical thing to remember, unlike something like, again, a San Diego Comic-Con, a New York Comic-Con, everyone here is here for Star Wars. So you do have to think about, Mark Hamill, Ian McDiarmid, Carrie Fisher. Everybody here practically is going to want their autographs. For us, we've got most of them. We're good. But a good chunk of the people, standard lines at these shows, these very centric shows like this, especially Star Wars Celebration, it could be 3-4 hours to get Ian McDiarmid, Mark Hamill. So plan accordingly, and don't let that be something that kind of derails the rest of your convention. That could end up being your entire plan for one day of the convention, is to really designate 1 or 2 of these autographed celebrities. So keep it in mind, keep an eye on their schedules. Always be aware that any of these stars, celebrities can leave early. We've been at a lot of conventions where people say, I'm going to wait till Sunday when there's no line, and then all of a sudden a celebrity goes home early. So similar to what we said about the merchandise, if there's something that's an absolute must, buy the ticket in advance, plan it early, get in there, get your autograph. If there's some borderline, we really are debating on, we've got Kenny Baker, we want to get Anthony Daniels. Do we want to get them both on the same photo? Well, if we do, we got to take care of that early, because who knows if Kenny Baker's going to be there the whole way through. So just some autographing tips, and again, Hall C is going to be home for a lot of that great stuff. All right, I want to take a second and just talk a little bit about the 2 hotels that are real close here. So we've got the Hilton and the Marriott. Both have good resources in terms of food. They've obviously got bars. Our favorite thing about those, they have tons of seating areas, and both have a lot of wall outlets. So we're big on external chargers. We don't go anywhere literally without both of us, Carmel and I, having our external batteries with us. But that being said, if you can save a little battery there while you're resting, and also sometimes get away from the madness, no problem hitting either of these places. The Marriott in particular has kind of this whole hallway area here, right as you kind of walk in the doorway here. And a lot of times it's a real dead zone. Sometimes we've been at conventions where they've actually moved the chairs out, but even then, just sit on the floor, charge your phone, can be a lot of fun, just hanging out there with some friends and relaxing a little bit. Also, both of them have food. They have Starbucks. We always give the advice at all the cons we attend, avoid the Starbucks lines at all, all costs. If you're going to spend an hour in line, spend it in line for Kenny Baker, not for, Starbucks. But I understand some people have an addiction. They need their coffee. It's understandable. They also have some good food options, though. There's the Pizza Hut over there, a couple restaurant bars in both of them. We really like Submarina in the Hilton. There's a whole little food court there. Submarina usually doesn't have very long lines. You can get the big sandwich and split it between 2 or 3 people, and it was quite affordable at that point. I mean, it's like $16 for that and a drink, which is not a great price on its own. But for hotel costs and the fact that you can split it because it is a giant sandwich and it's high quality, it's really good. If the food trucks are here, you mix that in with the various eating options between the 2 hotels. Obviously, after hours, heading over to downtown Disney and all the areas on the street will be preferable, but you usually can avoid waiting in any of the lines too long. I mean, we've managed to do quite a few conventions here, whether it's D23, WonderCon, or whatever, and rarely do we spend much time in line for food. It's kind of one of our philosophies, is just there's going to be a lot of line waiting between panels, exclusives, autographs. The last thing we want to do is wait in a long line for food or drinks. All right, so one of the most exasperating topics that we get when we're doing convention prep for San Diego Comic-Con or WonderCon or any of these shows usually is, how early do I have to get in line for the panels? So first off, just to be upfront, we always preach erring on the side of early. We would rather wait 6 hours and be sure to get in than wait 4 hours and maybe not get in, because obviously 6 hours you're dedicating that time, but at least you get it. Same thing with exclusives. We really like to make sure, we try to be as sure as possible that we're going to be able to get that item if we're going to put the time in line. So the same thing here. So as we're talking about this, kind of bear that in mind. Some of you might be a little bit more gamblers, ready to say, well, if I burn 3 hours and I don't get in, not a big deal, and that's totally fine. Before we talk about the arena, which is kind of our massive location here, let's talk a little bit about just some of the panels in general. Inside the convention center, beware 200 and 300 levels, so you can go right up the escalators there over Hall A, Hall B, C, D, and head straight up, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going up there, whether it's the droid builders room, 501st, the collector's track of panels. They're going to be giving out very cool swag again, a lot of great stuff up there, so definitely check it out. As you are planning though your approach for any of these panels, beware, every convention kind of has its culture, and so all we can base things on is what it was the year before, so we never know for sure. But what we are guessing are the following things. One, they're going to clear rooms, so be ready for that and plan for that. So if you want to see back-to-back panels, you may need to plan, to head out after half of one panel, or plan that, or have somebody waiting for you in line there. But they do, or I should say we are expecting that they are going to plan to clear the rooms. Secondly, remember again, just like as we talked about autographs, 100% of the people are here for the same thing. Everyone here is about Star Wars. So if it's something majorly cool to you, good chance it is to everyone. Now for us being kind of vintage Star Wars collectors, we're maybe in a little bit more of a niche. There's some things there that maybe we're gonna be into that a lot of you may not be. But if we're talking J.J. Abrams main stage, you can guess everybody that is at Celebration is going to be interested in that. Now, not everybody's going to dedicate the time or want to hassle with it. They're going to be fine, watch the trailer, whatever online, but there's going to be a good chunk of people that want to be there in that room. And so in terms of planning, our thought as of now is that it's at least a 12 to 14 hour commitment to get ready to go into that main J.J. Abrams panel. Again, not to say it is. Now, here's the kind of the real nuance to it here. The Anaheim Convention Center doesn't have really a tradition of that type of wait with panels. So when you look at things like D23 Expo, the security in the area, they did not want people sleeping out on the pavement in lines right in front of the arena. So that's kind of been a consistent thing here, is that they've pushed people off of property. Now what's happened though is informal lines have popped up, and so the fans have kind of taken it upon themselves to line up in various places. So we have seen at conventions where there may be 2 or 3 different lines forming at various areas of the convention that are just fans saying, hey, I'm here for this, get behind me, and then before you know it, you have 100 people there. Then when security kind of rope drops, if you will, and lets everybody in, then you have people smashing into each other trying to find their spot. So if you're going to make the commitment for some of these big time panels, whether it's the closing ceremonies or opening, because if you're unfamiliar with Star Wars Celebration, those are really 2 of the biggest things, is the kickoff and the ending. And never is it going to be bigger than right now. With all that's going on with Disney, the new movies, the kickoff and the closing, everybody's going to want to be at both of those. And so again, plan accordingly. It could be all of your Sunday waiting to get into the closing ceremonies. Now they are going to have overflow rooms with videos to be able to watch there, but you can also watch on your phone, so you may not even worry about that. I think for us, it's either going to be all in getting into the big room with the actors, or I should say J.J. Abrams and maybe some actors, or it's going to be all out and we'll just catch it on our phone. So good luck to you if you decide to go that route. All right, so we can't do a visual guide to Star Wars Celebration Anaheim without talking about Disneyland and downtown Disney. I mean, a lot of people, that's going to be a very big part of their weekend here, whether it's going to be in the evenings or a separate day tacked on, or a couple days tacked on, day or 2 before or after. For those that haven't followed along with us, we are Parks and Cons. Parks are a big part of what we do. We've got literally over 1,000 videos on YouTube related to park activities, and obviously being in Southern California, Disneyland is a large part of that. So behind us over here, you can see kind of the rocky peaks of Cars Land from DCA. Now, one problem from the Anaheim Convention Center, there's no real direct walk. You know, in the old days, there was a walk straight across through and you could make it through the parking lot and you'd be over there at Disneyland. Not the case anymore with Cars Land and all of that. So you really have to decide either you're going to go down that way to Catella, which is going to take you more towards the downtown Disney district, or you're going to make your way down this way down Catella and go right to the front of Disneyland and DCA. Either way, about a 10-minute walk, not bad. You can always take the shuttles from the hotels if need be, or Toy Story if you want to drop stuff off at your car and you parked over there and make your way. Either way, make sure you get over there though. There's a lot of great food options. Really cool themed dining experiences in the downtown Disney district, even if you have no interest in Disneyland, no interest in going in the Disney parks. For more on that though, you can actually go over to our YouTube channel or our website, parksandcons.com. We have a full video that breaks down all of the little tricks, treats, and just fun things about downtown Disney. Definitely recommend it. We actually shot it just before Star Wars Celebration, specifically for those of you coming in town that want to make the most of your downtown Disney. We also have a series of 8 videos that breaks down all of Disneyland, all of our favorite, I should say, tips, secrets, and all kinds of fun stuff there. So definitely check those out. Again, you can go to our website, go to theme parks, and click on Disneyland tips, and you can just find a bunch of great stuff there. So highly suggest getting over there. And even if you're not a Disney fan, if you can find time to get into the Disney parks, I mean, I know it's expensive, but you gotta love some of the Star Wars, Marvel type stuff going in there that a lot of people that would be watching this video would be interested in. We're also gonna have a video that just focuses on Star Wars at the Disneyland Resort. So definitely check that out as well on our YouTube channel or on our website. All right, we're wrapping up our visual guide to Star Wars Celebration with the last couple pivotal pieces here. Number one, the big thing, if Star Wars Celebration was here a year earlier, it wouldn't be here, but it is for this year. The CVS, just about a block down here. So you just come down Catella, right off from where we were filming. We're still here, right across from Disneyland, behind the hotels over here. There's a 7-Eleven, some pizza places, other food options. The Subway's 24 hours. There's a McDonald's 24 hours over there. Also, for those coffee drinkers, much better option than Starbucks. Again, not too far, 5-10 minute walk. Right here behind where we're shooting is a Coffee Bean, so that might be a great option as well. But CVS, it's got the ATM in there, Chase ATM. It's got all sorts of food options, like actually high quality looking fruit, vegetable trays, sandwiches that look good. It's not kind of your typical gas station food or anything like that. Obviously, it's built here specifically for hotel guests, so it can be a really good stop. Definitely don't get caught up buying water, sodas, things like that at the hotel. If you're flying in, just take a short 5-minute walk here, check out the place, grab your supplies, take them back to the room, and then that's gonna save a lot of money you can better use on autographs or exclusives. So we're gonna wrap up here. Hopefully you'll follow along with our coverage. If you haven't followed along before, we have a very interactive social media and YouTube channel where we'll have constant updates throughout the con. Nobody will have more updates than us, we can promise you that. If you see follow our past work, lots of things on the YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of those, all under Parks and Cons, so check those out. Our website will also have content throughout the next couple weeks as we lead up to Celebration and after, and also you can always check out our podcast where we'll go into more depth leading up to and after Star Wars Celebration. Parks and Cons across all of those platforms. So we hope you enjoy it, hope you have a great time at Celebration, and so until next time, we'll see you in line at Star Wars Celebration.